72 for 2 at the 10 over mark. It's one of those totals, and we've said it before on Cricbuzz Comm Box, doesn't quite give you an indication of the kind of score you might end up finishing with. Certainly they've got a platform. Ruturaj Gaikwad looking good. Maybe his strike rate is not setting the place on fire yet. Moeen Ali was looking good until he got out to Sai Kishore after the early loss of Devon Conway to Mohammed Shami. I'm joined by Shaun Pollock on Cricbuzz Comm Box. It's still tough, and I know where you're going to say the score is heading, but it's still tough at 72 for 2 to make an assessment of where a side thinks they might want to be.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about 177. I don't know why you mentioned that. It was never going to come up in this conversation. Yeah, they're a little bit subdued, didn't they? I mean, Dale comes on and he has an LBW shout and he thinks, this is the perfect day. I'm going to get a start. I'm going to pick up my wicket. But that was basically the catalyst over. After that, he was back to reality. Or was it 646 or wherever it may be? But it did look like maybe struggling to find out what was a decent score on the surface, maybe to just come to terms with the wicket holding up a little bit. But I think just steady the ship nicely now. And obviously, I think the key would be Gaikwad. I mean, he's got himself in, he's found his timing, he's starting to get a feel for how the surface is looking. I think he needs to go big. If he gets you something near 75, 80, 85, I think they can post 177 easily.
Yeah, it was 73 for 2 to be exact. They obviously got a great start from Mohammed Shami getting the informed Devon Conway out. But after that, even someone as impactful as Rashid Khan hasn't quite made an impact for Gujarat. And for them, it's crucial to look at every individual as they approach the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not really a surface where the ball's beating the bat. It just seems like the timing is difficult. But Rashid hasn't been his usual self, has he? It's been in the last 4 or 5 games, he's been a little bit off color, and they'll want him to come good because he's such a big part, and he'll raise his game, I'm sure, as the knockouts come. And you know, obviously scoreboard pressure, match pressure, knockout pressure, all those things added when you get against Rashid with his control. I think he'll come into his own, but I think he'd be a bit disappointed with some of, not the fact that he's not picking up wickets, but it's just that there's not a lot of balls that are causing illusion or beating the outside edge. So yeah, I think he'll be a little bit upset with the way it's going, and he's got some time to try and sort it out.
But you'd have to say the big talking point of the innings, and we sort of touched upon it without knowing whether it would come true or not, Hardik Pandya bowling. And he made the intent clear at the very start, opened the bowling with Mohammed Shami, and he's bowled a couple of very decent overs.
Yeah, he has. I mean, 2 overs, 0 for 8, you'll take that, particularly after the first delivery, no ball. That often happens when you've been doing too much time in the nets because there's no one to sit there and say, hey, you're getting over the line. But yeah, I think from an Indian perspective, that's fantastic. And also from a Gujarat perspective. Now I know that they've got an option. But surprised to actually see him take the new ball. I think Dale with his shape might have been a better option. But yeah, good to see him getting overs under the belt.
Yeah, and particularly when you go towards the playoffs. I mean, India obviously is long-term prospect, but he'll want to probably ease himself in. I don't think we'll see any more than 2 overs, maybe the next game 3. And then when it comes to playoff time, he'll want to leave himself as that option.
Yeah, for sure. Death overs probably never really been his forte over the years. So, yeah, I think he's happy with the 2. You're nice and warm. You bowl 2 back-to-back. You don't allow the body to cool down and then come back when you can do some damage. So I'd be surprised if we see him again today.
Final one from you, Shaun. Let's have a look at the batting to come and what you'd reckon is which side of 177 could Chennai end up with, let's say.
Yeah, I think there'll be 177 on the button, personally. They've still got Dubé and they've still got Dhoni. I think those 2 are key for them. Mitchell Santner didn't come at 3. He has some ability to strike it, but I think Dhoni and Dubé, the 2 Ds, will be the ones who will be key to them getting past 177 and posting something bigger.
All right, 1-word answer from you. Who comes in next for you? Which of the Ds?
Dubé.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Cricbuzz Comm Box. We'll see if that comes true, if 177 comes true, and what Chennai are looking like in terms of defending a total here. We'll see you soon. This has been Cricbuzz Comm Box.